But I really think for the price, this thing is absolute killer. What up, y'all? Terry Warfield. I hope you're having a good day so far, man. If this is your first time on my channel, a big fat welcome to you. And let's just cut to the chase. Today, I'm talking about the Feiyutech AK2000 gimbal because it needs to get talked about. It's got a lot of flack, right? But I really think for the price, this thing is absolute killer. Now, fair disclaimer, Feiyutech did reach out to me. They sent me an AK2000 and also AK4500, which is an absolute beast. But I wanted to cover the AK2000 first because, in my opinion, it's a lower price point that most people can afford, whereas the AK4500, even though it's the bigger brother, it's also more than double the price, right? However, y'all already know how I get down. Even though they sent it out to me on this channel, you getting the real. Ain't nobody telling me what to say. Now, I will say Feiyutech, they didn't ask me to say anything. They didn't ask me to give it a positive review. They just sent it to me and said, share it with your audience, and I'm sure y'all will appreciate it. So what is it? It's a 3-axis stabilizer. It's a motorized gimbal, right? So in that right, the Feiyutech AK2000 is not much different than any other gimbal. But what I want to do is share the things that I think set this gimbal apart from all the other competitors around the $400 price point. Now, I've been using this gimbal probably for about 2 months. I wanted to wait until I had some fair use under my belt. I'm gonna give you my favorite things about it, and also I'll tell you the few small things that I don't like about it. These are in no particular order. Let's get it. Okay, man, so my first favorite thing, honestly, is just the sheer amount of crap you get in the box. You get all the cables in the box, you get the batteries, you get a nice carrying case on top of that to carry everything in, you get all the adapters, you get everything that the average person will need for filming right in the box. You ain't got to go out and buy the cables, you ain't got to go out and buy battery chargers and none of that stuff. Everything comes in this packed box. So that's number one. My second favorite thing about it is honestly the build quality. Listen, this is not a cheap feeling gimbal. This thing is solid. It's mostly metal. There is some plastic like the screen and the buttons, which we got to talk about that screen. The grip is rubber. This is a nice good grip, and I really like it. It comes with a table tripod in the box, and it's solid. You know what I'm saying? It's a good weight. It is small comparatively speaking to some of your bigger gimbals, and honestly, with a camera on it, it's not that heavy. Build quality is, in my opinion, for 400 bucks, excellent. Now let's talk about this touch screen, right? The touch screen is something that Feiyutech has been doing, and they have been killing with gimbals. Usually with a gimbal, you gotta memorize button sequences and all that stuff. Like I gotta triple click it to do this, and I gotta double click it to do that. You can literally change all of the parameters. Well, maybe I shouldn't say all, but just about all of the parameters right from the touchscreen. I can't tell you how useful that is. It's even useful to the point where there's a Feiyutech app where you can connect your phone, the gimbal, and the camera, and then if you have a supported camera, you can actually start and stop filming, or you can adjust the ISO, the shutter speed, the white balance, all from the touchscreen. And again, I can't tell you how useful that is without having to pull out a phone and connect it to an app. Sure you can, but you don't have to. Whereas on another gimbal, to access like all the balancing features and changing the motor strength and all that, you got to connect it to a phone. On a Feiyutech, you could do it right from the screen. So this touchscreen is absolutely killer. Now, the next thing I really love about this gimbal that you typically can't find this unless you want to spend more money is the fact that you can break this gimbal down in half, which is super useful for travel. So literally there's a locking ring right here. You unscrew the locking ring, gimbal comes apart in two. When you're ready to reconnect it, you literally sit it back on top of the bottom piece, lock it back in, and it's ready to go. And I really love that about this gimbal. It's very, very, very travel friendly. Rolling right along, man. So the next thing I really like is that the rear motor that sits behind the camera screen is offset. So you don't have this big motor blocking your screen. Like my last gimbal was a Zhiyun Crane V2, and even though it was a great gimbal, the rear motor was like right in the middle of the screen. So basically, unless I'm using an external monitor, I can't see what I'm filming. And I can even articulate my screen on the back of the A7 III or any of my other cameras without it getting in the way of the rear motor. That to me is absolutely freaking clutch. Now, I'm not gonna spend a lot of time on the battery battery. Honestly, like, the batteries are good. They last you for at least 10 hours minimum. All gimbals are basically on par, so you know, I'm not gonna spend a lot of time on that. Now the next thing is one of my favorite features, and that's the auto rotation mode. You go into the gimbal, you go to auto rotation, you set the time, and then you can make a quote unquote track for the gimbal to follow with the camera. Now this is super useful when it comes to like time lapses, if you want to do like moving time lapses, or let's just say you out in the park by yourself and you want to get like a dynamic shot of you walking and you want to have the camera kind of following you. Now with the AK2000 you can do that. You literally rotate the gimbal, you set the starting point, and then you set the end point. Now a killer feature a lot of y'all don't know about, you can actually set more than 2 points. So once you start it, you can move it, let it sit for about 2 seconds, move it to the next position, let it sit for another 2 seconds, and so on and so forth. So you can literally have like a track, a moving track that the gimbal is following. And like I said, to me, that's a super useful feature that you typically can't get unless you want to spend more money on one of the higher end gimbals. Now I gotta talk about this, right? So I know it's a lot of big deal around inception mode. People say it's gimmicky. This gimbal does not have an official inception mode, or you know, whatever you want to call the mode, but that's not to say that it won't work. You could use the AK2000 to get those inception style barrel roll type shots. You literally just hold it horizontal and then use the joystick that's on the front and you push it either to the right or the left, and it will continually roll the camera. Now it is a slow roll. I haven't honestly tried to speed it up, but it works. You can always just speed it up in post. Now there are a ton of modes in here, man. There's your typical tilt follow and all follow and all of that good stuff. However, if you hold the power button down while changing the mode button, there's actually like 3 additional modes that a lot of people don't know about. And while we're talking about buttons, I really like this one feature that this gimbal has, and that is the auto level button or horizon button or whatever you want to call it, that's right here. So usually with a gimbal, right, if you got it all balanced and you bump it and you knock your horizon off, usually you either got to turn it off and turn it back on, or you got to connect the app. You got to connect the app and then go into the app and, you know, recenter the horizon. Listen, this button here with one click will automatically recenter your horizon, if that even makes sense. I'm probably not using the right terms, but whatever, you get what I'm trying to say. Not having this button is a huge headache. Now obviously you got your scroll wheel here that you can customize to different things. Lastly, before I move forward, I like the fact that there's an extra /20 mount right there. Now that's not to say that all things are perfect, right? I didn't go into every single feature that this thing has, but there are a few things that I don't like. Some of these things you got to remember, the gimbal is only 400 bucks, but I'm gonna go ahead and spit them out anyway. I really wish the charger was USB-C and not micro USB. I wish that you can lock the axes or axis or however you say it. And again, my bad that the dog is barking in the background. I don't really like the plastic right here and around the buttons. I did say that earlier in the video. And also this joystick is very, very cheaply made. I have taken it out of my bag before and noticed that the joystick was completely off and I had to find it. Now fortunately it pops right back on there, but I wish that the joystick was better quality, and I also wish it wasn't flush. Like I said, I do wish on the side of the gimbal this was USB-C. I think all of those are really small things when it comes to the overall picture, man. You get a ton of value in this gimbal. It's a great quality gimbal. It can hold a lot. It's packed full of features that really you got to pay more if you want to get them features. For $379, man, to get all of this stuff in the box, to get all of these features, to get a very, very well crafted gimbal at an affordable price. To me, this is the gimbal that you should get if your budget is under $400. And again, they did not pay me to say this. I really love this Feiyutech AK2000. Now, the AK4500 review is coming soon. It's got a lot of killer features. It's got some of the things I wish the AK2000 had. However, it is more than double the price. Like I said though, I wanted to do this for my budget conscious, and I say budget loosely, but still want a good quality gimbal. There will be links in the description for y'all to cop if you want to. And again, big shout out to Feiyutech for sending these gimbals out to me. I really appreciate it. And so far, I'm really pleased with the quality of these gimbals that I was sent. So that's all I got for you today, man. If y'all got any questions, make sure you drop them below. Peace and chicken grease, Terry Warfield. Peace!